Welcome to the Rise of the Trades podcast, the show dedicated to helping you to build, grow, and scale your trades or construction business. All rise for your host, Craig Wilkinson.
Welcome to this week's coaching episode of the Rise of the Trades podcast, where we help trades and construction business owners to skyrocket leads, explode net profits without having to graft 60 hours a week and becoming that busy fool. In this episode, I'm going to be teaching you how to generate more leads, build trust and authority, and dominate your trade in your local town or city. All in 10 simple, easy steps. Now, before we go there, I'd just like to announce that our tickets have now been released for our Rise of the Trades Summit. And what this is a full day in-person event where our members and non-members, if you're just listening to this podcast episode every week and you're not a Growth Club or Inner Circle member, no dramas. You can come and still spend the full day with me and a whole host of other professional business owners at our summit. It's a full day where people will travel from as far north as Aberdeen and as far south as Southampton to this event. We enjoy the full day together. We do a big networking session. We've passed over £120 million worth of work between us. I'm doing a coaching session. We've got a special guest speaker. It's a full day where you take yourself out of your business, come and meet me and all the team and our members and invest a full day into yourself that I guarantee at the end of that day, you will be high as a kite. And for the next 2 or 3 weeks, momentum and motivation will be through the roof. If you want to secure one of the tickets to this event, please click on the link in the show notes and the description of this episode. Now, let's transition over to this week's coaching. Over the course of the last, let's say, month or so, I've seen a pattern start to emerge. And I'm seeing people posting, let's say, different Facebook groups or even on LinkedIn saying, as everybody else's leads started to drop off, the phone's not ringing for whatever reason, what's everybody else thinking? And I'm looking at these posts thinking, hang on a minute, in today's day and age, there shouldn't be a reason why the phone's not ringing. And this is dangerous because if you're a one-person band and you're reliant on work to keep you going, you know, pay your mortgage, your rent, feed your kids, you know, and live, then no work coming in and phone not ringing is going to be damaging to you in your business. But likewise, you might have already been an established business with a team and your focus is, I need the work to come in to feed the beast that I've built because I've got a team now and there's no work. It's costing me. It's costing me money. Either way, I believe in today's day and age, there should be no reason or excuses on why people aren't generating leads. Now, I know that might seem easy for me to say because I've been in business since 1994 and I've been through that feast or famine and I've earned my stripes and I know exactly what to do to generate leads. That's why I teach people how to do that. But I've also got to remember, yeah, that's all right for you, Craig, but you didn't always know this, did you? You've been through feast or famine and you didn't know what to do. So as I'm starting to see all this unfolding, I'm thinking, well, this is an easy fix. But if people don't know what they don't know, then how are they supposed to have the knowledge to fix it? So what I did is I pulled my team in and I said, look, I've noticed this pattern starting to emerge. What I want to do is I want to do something that's going to help our, in particular, Growth Club members. What can we do? And between us, we said, right, let's put on a full half day, a full 4-hour marketing masterclass live on Zoom with our Growth Club members so I can teach them all these strategies that I consider to be like just bread and butter, but they might not be aware of these strategies. So if I was to teach them this live on a Zoom, not only can I give them the strategy and put the light bulb on, but they've got me then for half a day to ask any questions that they want to fire at me. And in true style, last Thursday, we delivered our marketing masterclass and all our Growth Club members joined us. And again, in true style, I said, look, we're probably going to need 4 hours to get through this strategy. But it actually went on for almost 6 hours. 6 hours of golden nuggets of knowledge on how to generate leads, build your brand, build your authority, and the strategies to generate the leads in the first place. How can we improve them? And we delivered this literally on Thursday just gone. And the feedback inside our Growth Club, our school community, has been fantastic since then. And I quote David Halls, who's an electrician, who's posted into our Growth Club community and our Facebook group saying, my head has exploded. The amount of knowledge that Craig has shared is unbelievable. I've been on other marketing courses and nobody delivers the knowledge and the passion like Craig Wilkinson. Or plumbing and heating engineer Christian Welsh, who said, I finally discovered how to build a brand to attract my customers, build authority in my expert field. I've now got all of the strategies that I need to stand out from my competitors and dominate my market. Now, it's not only the masterclass that we delivered, but we recorded that masterclass, and that's now been edited up and it's been added into our Growth Club, our school community within the classrooms, so that all future Growth Club members can get access to this dynamite knowledge that I shared. But beyond that, it's not just the masterclass that we delivered. We've now put 4 accountability sessions on over the course of the next month for our members to join us back live on Zoom, where we're going to hold them accountable and they're going to share with us what they've implemented, what's working, are they stuck, do they need any more help and support over the course of this next month. So it's not just the knowledge, it's the accountability that we're bringing to give people a kick up the backside and say, come on, there's no point in moaning that you haven't got enough leads coming in, either for you or your team. The likelihood is you're doing nowhere near enough marketing and you're not implementing the right strategies to generate more leads. And then because of the hype and the buzz that we've had around this and after Thursday's masterclass, there are people inside our Facebook group and community who are now saying, oh, Craig, I wish I'd have joined it. I knew about it, but I was just busy. Yeah, busy trading time for money. And what I mean by this is, I was saying in the lead up to this masterclass, listen, I know you might have got a day's worth of work booked in, and I know you don't want to let customers down. I get that. But we gave everybody a month's notice for this masterclass. And I was saying to people, look, rearrange your diary, free Thursday up, come and spend and invest that full day with us, which people did, because the knowledge and the results that you're now going to get from investing that time in and learning all these strategies is going to generate you an avalanche of leads coming in. Your profit margins are going to go up. You're going to make more profit and you've got this strategy for life. So the long-term investment of you giving up a day of your time is massive. But for many people who are trading time for money, they thought, no, I'm going to go and do that day's work and bag an extra 500 quid. But that's just a short-term win. They've missed out now on all that knowledge, unless they're a Growth Club member and they can get access to the recordings and the accountability inside our Growth Club and school community. So then this weekend, I'm sat there thinking, well, that's all well and good, Craig, because you're helping Growth Club members and that's a benefit of them joining. However, there are still people out there, there's like hundreds and hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people out there that still haven't got the right strategy. Now, I haven't got a chance to sit on here for 6 hours and replay everything that I did. But what I am prepared to do is come on and share the 10 sections or the 10 areas that we covered off, just so you know what they are. And then if you'll stay tuned till the end of this episode, I'm going to share with you how you can get access to that full 6-hour recording, the 12 videos and the accountability sessions by staying tuned till the end of this episode. So here lies the first problem that 9 out of 10 trades business owners have got. And that is, you're doing the same type of marketing as everybody else. In other words, all the competitors in and around your town or city, you're all doing the same. And I said this because I said it on the masterclass, crappy, old school tactic marketing that everybody else is doing. So therefore, you are not standing out from everybody else. And in business, what we've got to do is we've got to stand out for the right reasons. This is why I keep using this word, dominate, because if we're not going to dominate with everything that we do within our business, we're not going to stand out and we're not going to attract the right target market to our business. We're just not going to do it because everybody looks and feels the same. And in this noisy world, where every single business is screaming for attention, for people to stop the scroll in their feed and take notice of my Facebook post or my LinkedIn post or my TikTok video, right? Everybody's screaming for attention. And the thing is, in today's day and age, it's so much easier to market businesses because everything's online. Back in 1994, when I first started my business, we didn't have mobile phones. There were no social media. There weren't websites. There weren't funnels. There weren't lead magnets. There weren't vlogs, blogs and videos. There were none of that. So back then it was so difficult to market your business, to get out to an audience. But in today's day and age, when we can literally pull his phone out of his pocket, click an app, shoot a video, post that video out to be seen by tens and tens or hundreds of thousands of people, for me, marketing has become easier. But because it's become easier, everybody's doing the same because they don't have the right strategies. They're posting crappy content on social media, or you've got a website that you've invested into that's not generating your leads. Or you've tried doing Facebook or Google ads and it's just burnt your money and it's just not worked. Or you've tried leaflet drops and the leaflets aren't working. All these marketing activities, everybody else has already tried them. So what is going to work different to you than other people already trying them? And the only way in which you're going to stand out and be different and dominate your market is if you implement the proven strategies that I've been using in my businesses now for over 32 years that are proven to work. I've taught over 30,000 trades business owners these strategies. And for some people, they don't do anything with it. But for the ones that do, have a shifting mindset, get motivated and take action and actually implement the strategies, then these are the ones that are now getting results. So the first thing I want to share with you is this. You've got to change your mindset and you've got to stop doing the same crappy marketing tactics that every other mofo's doing, because that's not going to get you notice. You're not going to stand out. You're not going to wow customers by doing the same marketing activity as everybody else. And what you've got to do is you've got to become relentless with your marketing. Not posting once every couple of days and posting the same crappy posts. Not sat there knowing you've got a website that's not generating your leads but doing nothing about it. Not sat there thinking, I know I should be doing video marketing, but I don't want to do videos because I don't like the way I sound, or I don't want people taking the piss out of me, right? You've got to be relentless. Stop putting obstacles and barriers in your own path. You're only hampering your own success by having all these limiting beliefs. What we've got to do is we've got to roll the sleeves up, become relentless, and do more marketing now than everybody else, but do it in a different way. And if you follow my strategies and you do it in a different way, then you'll start to get noticed by more of your target market, and therefore you'll start to generate more leads. And go back to one of the popular quotes in which I say all the time, which is this: when you're prepared to do things that other people aren't prepared to do, then you're going to get a different result. And therefore, with respect, we've got to stop whinging and bitching and moaning and whining that you ain't got any leads, and do something about it, because all my inner circle members are busy. All of our growth club members that have been with me for some time are busy. But other people are out there going, I'm not busy, the phone's not ringing. Well, there are customers and clients out there for you. They're just not coming to you because you've not got the right marketing strategy. Now, in the coming chapters, I'm going to break down the 10 areas or the modules or the sections that I ran through on the masterclass. I'm going to tell you what they are. I'm not going to hold anything back. I'm going to tell you what they are. But each one of these 10 has got a strategy within itself. It's not just, oh, I get that, because you'll get everything I'm going to say, but it's the strategy that sits underneath it that's going to get your results. So what I want you to do is grab your notepads, pens and tablets and make notes. But I also want you to listen out for some podcast episodes that's going to go into more detail in some of these areas to give you more of the strategy. Remember, on Thursday, this was almost 6 hours. We haven't got 6 hours now, but I want to give you the 10 areas, and I want you to make a start now, not next week, not next month. There's nothing to stop you from making a start today. Step number 1 was becoming a content creator and understanding the 4 emotional marketing and sales triggers that we need to build into all our marketing and all into our sales pipeline. Now, what I mean by becoming a content creator is this: before you or your team can get the tools out of the van to go and do a job, you first of all must have created some form of content that your target market and potential customers or clients have seen. You've got to have put something out there somewhere for people to have seen your brand, made them aware of what you do to attract them to you. But here's the thing. There are that many trades business owners in today's day and age that are doing, like I said, the same crappy marketing, and they're not taking on board that you have to become a content creator. Before you can get your tools out of your van and do that job, you've got to have created some content that's attracted that customer to you. And I know that many of you are creating content, but you're creating the wrong content. You're putting the content out at the wrong times, and you're attracting the wrong target market to you. In other words, you're attracting time wasters and tire kickers. And therefore, you're not doing anything different to everybody else. But when we understand that your ultimate role in your business, before you're the plumber, joiner, roofer, tiler, scaffolder, builder, whatever you do, in today's day and age, you've got to become a content creator. I mean, look at this podcast within itself. Let me just share something with you. This podcast takes 8 hours. Honestly, you know, you only hear the end version of this podcast, all edited up, done and dusted. But let me tell you now, for me to shoot, let's say, which is an average of 90-minute podcast, for me to just literally shoot that, it takes me all day. Then we've got to get it edited up. Then we've got to get it out there onto Spotify, our website, you know, Amazon Music, Apple. Then we've got to create social media posts. Then we've got to write an email that you all get. Yeah. Then we've got to market the podcast. So all this lot, it takes me 8 hours. Then it takes my team another 8 hours beyond that. So when you think about it, this podcast episode that you're listening to today will have took 2 days to pull together. But I know that I've got to become a content creator. And if I wasn't creating this podcast and this episode that you're listening to, and the rest of the 73 episodes that are in this series so far, there's no way that I'd be able to build a relationship with you. And at the point where you may need some help, I'm hoping that the value and knowledge that I deliver in these episodes, that you're going to come to me. Are you with me? So I understand that I have to create content first to be able to get people to join my growth club or my inner circle, or let us build their website for them or do their branding for them. I've got to create the content and put it out there to my target market to be able to get the business in. It's the exact same with you. So number one, you've got to become a content creator. And the second part of this is the 4 emotional marketing and sales triggers that you've got to build into your marketing strategy. Now, I'm going to tell you what they are. I'm not going to hold anything back. I'm going to tell you what they are, but there's a strategy behind how and where we use these 4 things inside our marketing and sales. And if we can't manage to build these 4 things into our marketing and sales, then we're not going to generate an avalanche of leads. And I guarantee that the vast majority of people won't be building these in. You might know the words. You might have even heard me speak about these on a previous podcast, but you'll not have the strategy to implement them. So write these 4 emotional triggers down. Number 1 is the word no, K-N-O-W. In other words, as part of this strategy that I taught last Thursday, how do we get more people to know that we exist? You see, where you're sat or working, listening to this episode right now, I'm telling you now, within a 5 square mile of where you're sat or stood right now, there is competition, right? So therefore, that your competition is taking business from you because they're working in your local area. Why isn't that business coming to you? And the reason why is not enough people know that you and your business even exist. So as part of become a content creator, one of the emotional triggers we've got to hit is how can we get more people to know that we exist? Number 2, like. Write down the word like, L-I-K-E. How can we get more people to like us, as in you personally? Because people don't buy from your logo. When you get out your van to go and survey a job, it's not your logo getting out of your van, is it? It's you. So the more people that we can get to like you, the business owner, who they're going to be dealing with, then the more chance we've got of building rapport, and therefore we've got more chance of winning that job. So how can we get more people to like you in your business? And again, that comes down to the strategic content that we create to get people to like you. The third emotional trigger is the word trust. How can we get more people to trust you, right? You personally and you as a business. Because you might know someone, you might even like them, but you're never going to buy off them because you don't trust them as far as you can throw them. So how do we build trust into this marketing and sales? What do we need to do? And trust basically comes down to social proof. Things such as video testimonials, having more 5-star online reviews than everybody else, having case studies on your website, for example. So we need a strategy on how we're going to get more of that. And the final word, write this down, the final word is confidence. And confidence is another emotional marketing trigger. And what we need to do is we need to trigger enough confidence in the stranger that's either reading our posts, reading our blogs, or watching our videos, or scrolling on social media and looking at the posts that we're creating, or maybe looking and browsing on our website or landing page or funnel, or downloading a lead magnet, or reading a leaflet, or listening to that radio advert. It doesn't matter what we do. We've got to build enough know, like, and trust into our marketing to trigger the final word, which is confidence. Because when we hit the trigger of confidence, that person then is confident that you can solve the problem that they've got. And therefore, the lead will come in to your business. So the first strategy that we taught that I go into depth on the masterclass is how to become a content creator, and then how to bring these 4 emotional triggers into your marketing and your sales. Step number 2 is what I call your attract strategy. Now, what I mean by an attract strategy are things like this. You right now will be doing a number of things, marketing activity, to attract your target market in the highest concentration to you and your business. And some of the standard things that everybody will be doing, so you're no different to anyone else, are things like social media or paid ads. And then what you're doing then is you're driving traffic back to a website that hasn't got a website strategy. So you might be doing the hard work, attracting people to you, but you're sending them back to a website that's not got a conversion strategy on it. So they're bouncing. So you'll be doing things like social media, paid ads. You might be doing the odd video. You might send the odd email. You might do the odd video at best. Or you might be advertising on a directory like Checker Trade or Which. That's about it. And what I went through on Thursday is there are 20 different marketing attract strategies that I walked through, teaching you how you've got to create more content in 20 different areas to attract your target market to you. Because if you're not doing these 20 marketing activities, then you're never going to generate an avalanche of leads coming in. And if all you're relying on is social media, which you haven't got a strategy for, paid ads, which you haven't got a strategy for, leaflet drops that you haven't got a strategy for, online directories that you ain't got a strategy for, you're just literally winging it and having a scattergun approach and trying all this stuff, and you're only doing a handful of things, then you're only going to bring enough business in to keep you going at the rate and the scale of your business as it is right now. So what we've got to do is we've got to create more content by becoming a content creator. We've got to introduce know, like, trust and confidence into that content. And then there's 20 different ways to attract your target market to your business. Now, again, I haven't got a chance to break down all 20 right now. But again, I cover all this off in the masterclass. And again, at the end of this session, at the end of this podcast, I'm going to share with you how you're going to get access to this. So your attract strategy needs to be a lot more. You need to be doing more different types of marketing to attract people to your business. Now, on the masterclass, I shared the 20 things, the 20 top ways to attract people to your business, right? And I said, right, here's what we're going to do. They're the 20, I brought them all up on screen. And after I'd run through each one, I said, right, be honest, take to the chat on the live Zoom and post into the chat how many of those 20 that you should be doing are you actually doing? And seriously, we had the average between everyone who joined the Zoom were 4. 4. Which means out of the 20 marketing activity they should have been doing in 20 different areas, on average, they were doing 4. And the same 4 cropped up for everyone, which is why I'm saying everybody's doing the same basic marketing, which is not getting you found and getting you heard. You have to do all 20 to generate an avalanche of leads. Now, in this chapter, I'm going to be covering off steps number 3, 4, 5 and 6. So I want you to make a note of this. I'm also going to be sharing a podcast episode at the end of here where I want you to go back at the end of this one and listen to episode number 66, which I'll come on to, because this covers in more detail steps 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now, when people come to me and say, Craig, I'm not generating enough leads, what do I need to do? One of the first things that I will do is go and look at their branding. Because your branding is either going to turn people on or it's going to turn people off. And in most cases, when I look at their branding, the brand is awful. And that's one of the problems on why they're not generating leads. So when I explain this to them, that there are 3 different types of brands and that they need to get this sorted first, it's no, I don't need to sort my branding out. You know, everybody knows me. I've had this logo and this name forever, and everybody knows me around here, and I'm not touching that. So just tell me how to generate more leads. What do I need to do? I'm like, no, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. Marketing is not a quick fix. It's not a magic wand. You can't miraculously just generate leads overnight by just doing this on social media. There's a bigger picture behind it. There's a far bigger strategy behind it. And the thing that underpins it all is your company, business, brand, on how you are perceived in that market. So step number 3 is you need to understand this. Write this down. There are 3 vital business brands that you've got to build. And if we don't build these 3 business brands, particularly in today's day and age, you're going to struggle generating leads. So step 3 is there are 3 business brands. I'm going to walk you through each one of the 3, and I'm going to give you some pointers to what each one is. So within step number 3, I walked everybody through, write this down, the 3 P's to branding. And what I mean by this is these 3 words that I'm going to share with you now, all beginning with the letter P, that you've got to build into your brand. And if we can't build these into our brand, we're going to be turning our potential target market off because we haven't brought these 3 P's in. So write this down. Number 1 is perception. You see, your target market is going to build up a perception of you and your business by the content that you're actually creating. And our perception of our business needs to be at the highest level. You don't want to look like a one-person band here that's just set up a business or scratching around for work. We need to give the perceived perception that we are an established, growing, well-respected business, right? So we've got to get perception in. Number 2, professionalism. From a professionalism point of view, I'm sure you'd like to think that your branding looks professional. But in all honesty, for the vast majority of people that were on that Zoom with me last week, when they've gone away to look at their branding, they're all now questioning and asking each other in our growth club, well, actually, what do you think to our brand? Is it right? Is it wrong? And the reactions that they're getting are being honest reactions, and it's not what they want to hear because they don't look as professional as what they actually are. And the 3rd P is presence. And what I mean by this is the presence, the authority that you hold in your market locally. What's your presence? You know, are you the go-to company that people go to when they've got a problem with A, B, and C? Or are you not? Are you down the pecking order because your presence is nowhere near enough? Well, if we can't build the right perception and build our professionalism and build our online presence as the dominating number 1 go-to company to come to in this area for X, Y, and Z problem, if we're not building these 3 things in, then we're going to struggle generating leads. Now remember this, whatever content you're putting out there right now, and listen, it doesn't matter whether it's a social media post, a website, or a leaflet, right? If the perception, the professionalism, and the presence within your market is not absolutely on point, and you look the authority, and you look like you're dominating, and you look super, super professional and the go-to company, if you don't look like that, then all you're doing is being perceived by our target market the same as everybody else. Oh, it's another plumber, it's another joiner, it's another electrician, it's another tiler, it's another builder just touting for work. I want you to be the best. So the content that we put out there has got to build into it perception, professionalism, and presence. So I want you to look at your website, look at your brand, look at your last 10 social media posts, look at your last blog article, if in actual fact you're doing blog articles, look at your last video and say, if I were watching this and I was my target market, how am I going to come across and how am I going to be perceived? Do I look super professional? And my presence in our local area, am I dominating with my presence? And I think if you self-analyse all this in detail, you'll probably have a look and go, well, actually, I'm not. I'm actually no different to anybody else. Therefore, the branding around your business, which is the foundation level, isn't quite right. It needs to be improved. So step number 3 is understanding what these 3 vital brands are that all roll into perception, professionalism, and presence. Step number 4 is the first of the 3 brands, and that is your business brand, right? And when I'm on about your business brand, I'm talking about the name of your business, the logos, the fonts, the colours, and how that has got its perception, its professionalism, and its presence within the market. And one of the things that I share with you in episode number 66 is this. When you first set up your business on day 1, you've got no experience in business marketing or sales. You've probably got a shoestring budget, so you've not got money to invest into having the right brand created by a professional company. So what you do is, you know, you set your business up, you know you need a name. So for many of us, we bring our personal name into it, or we bring our initials into it, or we choose a name like, or we bring our kids' names into it, or we come up with some name that's not got a great deal of relevance to our business. We've got no strapline that underpins what our business does. We choose our own fonts and our own colours. We look at our competitors and we start to copy what they've done. Every plumber seems to have got a flame, an orange, blue or red or yellow flame. Every roofer or building contractor seems to have a roof or a triangle or a chimney. Every other electrician's got a spark or a plug or a lightning bolt or something that represents electricity or current. Are you with me? Nothing is standing out with that brand because you weren't experienced with branding when you first set up. But here lies the problem, because as you grow your business, you personally are building and growing yourself, and you're getting more wool on your back, you're getting more experience, you're learning by your mistakes, and you're changing your business, and your business model starts to change, as does the products and services that you start to offer through this ever-evolving, changing, morphing business. So now you've worked out that, you know, being a plumbing and heating engineer, fixing a leaky tap and charging someone 50 quid to drive half an hour to fix a leaky tap for 50 quid and then half an hour to the next job, you've worked out that you're actually losing money. Now, what you should be doing as a plumbing and heating engineer to maximise profitability is be fitting boilers and fitting heat pumps as an example, right? So you've worked this out. So your business is morphing, it's evolving, it's changing and it's growing, and so are you. But what's not growing with that is the brand that you set up on day 1 that makes you look like a one-person band, that looks a bit cheap, where you banged it together on a shoestring budget. The branding that's still hovering over you is not evolving. So you could be the best joiner, the best brickie, the best scaffolder, the best tiler, the best plumber, the electrician on the planet, and you could offer a brilliant service. But if the perception, professionalism, presence of your cheap looking brand that you cobbled together on day one, that people are now looking at and consuming, is not hitting the sweet spot for them, they're never going to inquire with you, because your old cheap brand from day one is now giving them a negative judgment call on your business. Do you get what I'm saying? So what we looked at is, we said, look, we know that you love your name. We know you're emotionally attached to your name. And I brought up loads of examples of before, this is one of our members that was the brand before, but this is what they're like now. Now we've rebranded them. Look at the difference. And they were like, oh my God, I get it now. Flipping heck. The difference just from showing someone one logo to a new logo, it's the same company, it's the same person doing the install, but the branding is completely different. The new brand has got perception built into it. It's got professionalism built into it. It's got presence built into it. And it looks like where their business is going to be in the future vision. We make businesses and rebrand businesses look like where they're going to be in 10 years, not where they were 10 years ago as a one-person band. Do you get what I'm saying? So things like having flames as a plumber, having your initials or your name in your business makes you look small fry, makes you look like a one-person band. Therefore, every customer's going to expect you at their beck and call. They're going to want you on the job, you doing the pricing, you on the phone, you emailing, because you've made yourself look like a one-person band, where what we need to do is lift the lid on that, get the perception that you are a growing, established business where your professionalism is sky high and your presence in this market is you're dominating the market and you're now the go-to company that people want to go to. That's where we need to be. So your business brand is either turning people on or turning people off. Step number 5, which is the second part of the 3 vital parts of branding, is your personal brand. Is you. Remember, your perception of you, people are making a judgment call on you based on the content or the lack of content that you're putting out there that's got you on it. Your professionalism as a person, when you're putting content out there, that comes into it. And again, that presence, that authority, that confidence, is that there in your business, and is it demonstrated throughout everything that you're doing with your marketing? So go back to the 4 emotional triggers. Trigger number 2 was the word like. We've got to get more people to like you. That means you have got to be all over your marketing. Please tell me on every single page on your website, there's an image of either you or you and your team. Please tell me that on every blog article, there's an avatar of you being the author and a profile picture and a description of you as the author of them blog articles. Please tell me that you're shooting videos every day, or at least putting 3 to 4 videos out a week with you demonstrating your perception, professionalism and presence. And if the answer to that is no, I'm not doing any of that, then you are a faceless company. And people in today's day and age don't want to deal with a faceless company. They want to know who is in that business. They want to know who the business owner is. They want to know their authority and how much knowledge that business owner's got. They want to know who's in your team. They want to know who's turning up on their job. Is it Kyle, the apprentice? Is it Sally, the engineer? Or is it John, the joiner? Who's coming to do the work? And if we can start to build up our personal brands, then people actually get to know us before they've even met us. I mean, come on, this is a podcast, an audio podcast, which means you can't see me right now. But because of my personal brand, as in Craig Wilkinson and my voice, I'm hoping now I'm building up the perception and professionalism presence that you can trust me, you get to know me, like me, trust me, and build confidence in me that I can solve the problems that you've got. And if that ticks all your boxes, then at some point in the future, you might come to me or the Trades Freedom Club to help you solve the problems that you've got. So it's all about building rapport, building a relationship with the people and the audience in your target market. It's about building rapport with them before you've even met them. So if you're not out there as the personal brand, then how are people supposed to build up a relationship with you or your team? Because building up a relationship with a logo is great from a brand point of view, but remember, we've got to get people to like us. So you've got to be all over your marketing. And again, on the masterclass, I showed images of, let's say, our members before they took this on board, and just showed some images of them, doing whatever they do, or pull some images of them off social media, and I put them into the training on Thursday. And then I said, but these same members of my inner circle that have gone away and worked on their personal brands now look like this. And I showed them images that had been shot or staged of them doing what they do for a job, highlighting their perception, professionalism and presence in the market. And it were like night and day. We were showing images of this person. That's what they look like on social media before. But now they've invested into the personal branding and they've gone away and had the 20 photos taken with the 20 words that we want people associating with you personally, which is what we covered. Now this is what they look like. And it's like, oh my goodness, I get it now. Putting random photos out of you on social media is great, but what you've got to remember is people are building a judgment on you based on the content you create. Whereas if we change that slightly and we write down 20 words that we want associating with us personally, and then go and get photographs or videos of you showing them 20 words, then we can build up a new 3Ps. So what I want you to consider doing is going and getting some photographs of you and your team, and you can take these on your smartphone. You don't have to have a professional photographer. Go and take some photographs of you doing what you do best, and then get them on your social media, on your website, in your brochures, on your lead magnets, on your blogs. So if you are a electrician and you fit solar panels, right, where's the photograph or the videos of you on a roof with your uniform on, all embroidered up, all clean and tidy, with a photo of you and your team fitting the panels to the roof? If you have got a page on your website where you're talking about solar panels, the likelihood is you've got a stock image that everybody else has used. That's not unique. That's not doing different. That's not going to stand out. But a really nice photograph of you and your team, all branded up, fitting a solar panel, and then that image goes on the solar panel page on your website, is where we need to be. Polly, an electrician, Little Miss Electrical, was on the session. Polly's a female electrician. She's brilliant at what she does. She's got a fantastic brand. And what I said to Polly is, right, if you're going to fit a new consumer unit or a fuse board, then let's get a photograph of Polly or a team, embroidered top on, with a screwdriver or something like that, or pulling a fuse out of a fuse board. Right, you ready? Stay there, smile, right, click. Right, we've got that image, and that's going to then fit on our consumer unit or rewire or whatever page you've got on your website. So we're bringing you and your branding into that personal brand. And step number 6, and the third part of branding, is your brand authority. Now, what I mean by brand authority is this. Imagine you've got a new business brand that's got the 3Ps built into it. You've now got your personal brand out there. So you've upped your game and you're on videos. Your team's on videos. You've got an introduction video on your website that introduces your team. You've got photographs of you and your team all over. Now we've got a personal brand. Now everything's starting to look good. But the thing that ties the business brand and the personal brand together is step number 6, which is your brand authority. So how can we then take that branding that we've created and put that together to form a brand that makes you and your business look the authority in your trade, industry or sector in your local area. And again, the example I gave with this was showing images of Future Flow Heating, who prior to Future Flow Heating were called Robson and Dobson Plumbing. I mean, think about this just from what I've said. Robson and Dobson Plumbing, what does that say to you? Robson and Dobson Plumbing. Compared to Future Flow Heating, with a strapline supporting it that says Heating Solutions for Tomorrow. I mean, you can't even see anything. I'm only talking this order, it's audible, innit? But straight away, Robson and Dobson Plumbing compared to Future Flow Heating, Heating Solutions for Tomorrow, which sounds the best, which sounds the most professional, given the fact that Craig and Matty, the future over the next 10 years, they want to be moving into renewable energy. They want to be fitting more boilers. They want to be doing more heat pumps. Where Robson and Dobson Plumbing, all that were attracting to them were bathroom installations and piddly jobs that weren't making them any money. So what we did is we've rebranded them up to Future Flow Heating, where they are heading in the next 10 years. And then all their branding and their personal brand has been brought into it. So what I did is I showed on Thursday their social media branding across everything, how we've pulled all the branding together on images that have now been used on things like social media and lead magnets, and how professional that brand looks because both Craig and Matty are on their brands. How the business cards and the vans and the brochures look, how the beanie hats and the key rings that have been branded up, or the tape measures with their logo on, or the mugs or the flasks that they have are all branded up. So now what we're doing is we're tying their business and personal brand together with their brand authority. And now, having gone through this with me, they look completely different to where they were 6 months ago. And now when you look at their social media presence, no more are they doing bathroom installations or piddly shitty little plumbing jobs that make them a loss. You look at their social media now, every job they're fitting boilers. Now they're fitting heat pumps. And now they're attracting their target market to their business that want those services and don't want bathrooms and piddly little jobs that make them no money. Why? It's the same two guys doing the installation, but the whole brand, from the business brand, the personal brand and the brand authority is being worked on, and now they're attracting people to their business that want boilers and heat pumps. Therefore now they're making more profit than they've ever made before. So what I want you to do is listen to episode number 66, which is all around building a business brand, right? These 10 steps that when we rebrand businesses, there's 10 steps that we go through. And I don't keep these as a secret. I give you the 10 steps because you don't have to use us to have the rebrand done. You might be able to take the knowledge I give you and go and build the ultimate world-class brand yourself. But if you get stuck, you know how we are. Likewise, I want you to listen to episode 57. Because in episode 57, I go through how to build a personal brand that attracts leads in 3 simple steps. So I'm giving you the knowledge in those 2 podcasts. That's episode 66 and episode 57. Step number 7, we covered target market, identifying who your target market is and where can we find them in the highest concentration. And what we find is, again, when people come to me and say, Craig, I need leads, I need to generate leads, I need more work. And we look at what they're doing. It's like, well, hang on a minute. All your brands are wrong. Your business, personal and brand authority is wrong, so that's turning people off. And the scattergun approach that you've got to your marketing is all over it, show. Basically, what you're doing, you're putting random stuff out there at random times to a random target market and hoping and praying that whatever content you're putting out there is going to stick. Some of it's going to stick. So it's scattergun. And what you're doing is you're attracting time wasters and tire kickers because you don't know who your target market is. And the messaging that you're putting out there is not attracting that target market. And what we've got to do is you've got to work out specifically who is what I call your bullseye target market. So we went through not wanting cold leads. We don't want cold leads coming in because cold leads are uneducated customers that we've not educated correctly, and therefore they're just going to waste us time. They're going to end up being time wasters and tire kickers. What we need coming into our business are warm leads, which basically means people that have already consumed a number of your content. They've already got to know you, they've got to like you, they've got to trust you, and therefore we've hit the trigger of confidence. And they know about our business and they know our process and they know what we do and where we do it and how we do it. And they've met us already. We've already got a relationship with them before we've even met them. They're called warm leads. Now we want them, but I take it to a whole new level. And what I teach is what I call bullseye. And bullseye is if you could describe your absolutely perfect, ultimate future customer, who would they be and what would they look like and where can we find them? And that's what we've got to start working on within our strategy. Who is that bullseye? Now, what I walk through are the 9 characteristics that are made up to identify your B2B, business to business. So let's say, for argument's sake, you're an electrical contractor and your target market are building contractors that you can work with and they'll give you first and second fix work. Then that's B2B. Or you might be a shop fitting company. So therefore, facilities management companies or architects or designers might be a good fit for you. That's B2B. There are 9 characteristics to work out who your B2B target market is. Likewise, we've got B to C, business to consumer. So that might mean you are a joiner and you are going to give Mrs. Jones, living round corner, a price to replace all her internal doors. You might be an heating engineer and it might be Mr. Jones round corner and he wants a new boiler fitting in his 3-bedroom semi. That's B to C. Now, to work out who the bullseye are, there are 9 characteristics to work your B2B and your B2C out. So on the actual masterclass, I walked you through what all 9 characteristics are for each one of those target markets and explained in detail why you need to identify these, how you identify them, and then what we're then going to do with the bullseye target market that we find. Because a pattern will start to appear in who your target market really is. Let me give you a couple of quick examples. So let's say, for argument's sake, you went through your last 100 leads that came in. And let's say each lead came into your inbox. And you went through all them leads. One of the characteristics is it male or female that is your ideal target market? Now, I know what you can say. You could say, well, actually, it could be Mr. Jones or Mrs. Jones that contacts us for that new boiler. It's the same, isn't it, Craig? And it's like, well, no, it's not. I understand that either Mr. or Mrs. might contact you, but go back through your last 100 emails and have a look. And it might be that 75%, 3/4 of those leads that have come in from Mrs., the female. Yeah, 25% still coming from Mr., but what we're now starting to establish here is, right, more females contact us. Therefore, our bullseye is a female. Do you get what I'm saying? Age is another demographic for the B2C. Now, you could say, well, hang on, I could fit a boiler for anyone. I could fit a boiler for a young couple that are starting out in the first home who are 22-year-old, all the way through to a retired couple that want a boiler fitting who are 75-year-old and everybody in between. I'm like, yeah, I get that. But if you were to look at all the last 100 leads and you were to say, do you know what? If I had to have a guess what Mrs. Jones' age were, what would I guess? And then you go, well, actually, the next customer, what would I guess they were at? And if you can't remember, you've only got to go to Facebook, can't you, and have a look on Facebook to have a guess at their age, right? Then what's going to start to happen is if you looked at the last 100, then a pattern's going to start to appear. And all of a sudden, it's going to go, yeah, I can fit boilers for 22-year-olds up to 75-year-olds and everyone in between. But actually, when I've looked at the last 100, 74% of people actually fit between the age demographic of 35 to 45. So now we're starting to get somewhere. So in this example, it's right. It's females aged between 35 to 45. And what I give you and talk you through is this spreadsheet that I asked you to create that puts the 9 demographics in so you can work out who that bullseye target market is. And then the reason behind this is the messaging that we start to create in all the content that we create, whether that be a video, social media post, blog or vlog. If it materialized in this example that it were females aged between 35 and 45, then what type of images are you going to use on your blogs or on your social media posts? You're going to get images of women that are 35 to 45-year-old because that's the demographic and that's the messaging and the people we're trying to attract. Do you get me? So we have to go to this level of detail. Now, in the workshop, in the masterclass, I go through this in detail and I give you what the 9 characteristics are. However, if you go and have a listen to episode number 11, in episode 11, I give you what those 9 characteristics are for B2B and B2C target markets, so you can start to work out who they are. In the masterclass, we go into more detail and I talk about the spreadsheet and what I want you to do. But ultimately, if we can work out who that target market is and then start to create content that appeals to that specific demographic, that's like punching that target market on end at nose and saying, right, I've got the solution to solve your problem, right? Here's our marketing message that lands straight on end of the nose. Therefore, they're going to start to take notice of us. Rather than you putting random social media posts out, trying to attract everyone and attracting nobody. It's never going to work. Step number 8 was your target market's pain points. Pain point marketing. And I'm an absolute master at this, which I'll come on to and explain. You see, now we've identified who that target market is. What we now need to do is something different to what everybody else is doing. And what everybody else is doing is they're selling the products and services that they offer. So if you're a heating engineer, you're constantly selling boilers. You're constantly putting images of boilers that you've installed on social media. And let's face it, unless you're a heating engineer, how unsexy is a boiler? I mean, come on, who wants to spend 2, 3, 4 grand on having a boiler fitted a white box that gets shoved in a cupboard, nobody wants to spend 3, 4, 5 grand for a white box, do they? So stop selling the products and services that you're offering and do things different and follow my strategy and start to sell the solution to the problem that your target market is currently experiencing, right? So stop selling the products and services, start selling the pain and talking about the pain that the target market is experiencing. And once you've talked about the pain and built a rapport up and they've gone, that's me, that's exactly me, that's how I'm feeling. Then what you do is you offer the solution to solve the problem. Come on. Look at this listen to this podcast, right? What am I doing on this podcast? Yes, I'm giving you knowledge, but I know what your pain points are. I know my target market are, and I know what your pain points are. Why? Because I'm a joiner that's built, grown a business, that's made every mistake and experienced every emotion in building a trades business. So I know what the pain points are. For instance, lack of leads coming in, or you're investing time and money on marketing that's not generating your leads. You're staying up till 9, 10, midnight doing your paperwork, your admin, your quotes and your invoicing. You're doing everything manually because you've not got ServiceMate or Leadzilla introduced into your business. Therefore, you can't go on holiday for 2 weeks without your phone ringing or your team or your customers emailing you, WhatsApp in you, texting you. Many of you have got cash flow problems because you don't know the numbers in your business. You don't know how to price jobs correctly. You don't know about gross profit, net profit, balance sheet, directors' loan accounts. I know what your problems are. So what do I talk about? I talk about the problems that you've got. Then what I do is I drop in the solution every now and again to solve the problem you've got. Hence the reason why I talk about my growth club, why I talk about my inner circle, how we can build you a website that will get you to number 1 on Google, how we can rebrand your business so you look like you are where you're going to be in 10 years. But I'm not ramming this down your throat. I'm not saying to anyone, right, join my inner circle, click this link, pay your deposit. I'm not doing that because that's what amateurs do. So we've got to stop selling the products and services and start to sell the solution to solve the problem. And one of the examples that I showed on the masterclass was images and videos from when I had my building company. And I shared with them how my competitors were sharing posts and putting their marketing out that looked like this. And I showed a picture of an extension that one of them had built that looked like a bomb site and a bomb had gone off on it. And I said to everyone, look, all I'm going to do is show you a picture. I didn't mention any competitors' names. I won't be unprofessional and do that. I just showed them a picture from years ago. And I said, look, this is what a company that was supposed to be my competitors, this is what they were posting. I said, and look at that image, and I'm not going to say anything to you, just by the 3 Ps that they have now given you on this one image. What is that saying about their business? And everybody said the same thoughts. Unprofessional, no health and safety, look like a bomb site, wouldn't trust them, wouldn't have them working on their house. And I'm like, right, because they're selling extensions. And they're saying, look, we've started working on this extension. If you want an extension, give us a call or on this number or click this link and visit our website. Whereas then what I did is I showed an image of a teenager in an extremely messy bedroom. And the purpose of showing that image was the pain that people are experiencing when they've got a growing family and they're running out of space and the kids' bedrooms are a mess because they've got no storage space, or they've got teenagers and they find an half-eaten mouldy pizza underneath the bed in a pizza box, or a glass of milk on the windowsill that's gone mouldy. Come on, you know what teenagers are like. So what we used to do, and what I still do now with the strategy, but when I had my building company, we'd be saying, hey, listen, are you, call out our target market. So are you a growing family living in these 3 postcode areas? Because we'd only work in 3 postcode areas of Sheffield. We wouldn't work anywhere else. It were that precise. And you've got a growing family, and therefore the pain you're experiencing is this, and this. So we're calling out the target market because we knew we were. We're getting laser focused on the pain that that particular person is experiencing. If this is you, right, then imagine having this. And then I showed an image of a converted loft conversion that we'd done. I said, so what we can do is we can take you from this pain to this pleasure. And what I didn't show is the inbuilt or the destruction of a loft conversion being inbuilt, because who wants to see their house being torn apart? Nobody. So is this you? Messy bedrooms, expanding family, running out of space, but do you want this? And show them the end result. If you do, listen to these video testimonials. And then what we'd do is we'd link up video testimonials back to happy customers and clients telling the world how amazing, clean, on time, on budget, friendly we were, mentioning all our team's names to bring the personal branding, and telling anyone, listen, if you're running out of family living space and you need extra space, you need to speak to Craig and his team because they're absolutely brilliant. And I were doing this back in 2010. Pain point marketing. But in today's day and age, number one, people are still selling the products and service. You see, back then I weren't selling loft conversions, I was selling space. Back now, I'm not selling the Growth Club or the Inner Circle. I'm selling time and financial freedom. Do you get what I'm saying? So stop constantly posting and talking about the product and service that you fit. Start scratching and itching the problem that your target market have got, and then subtly at the end drop in the solution to solve the problem. And if you've got video testimonials to back that up, even better. So step number 8 is you identifying what are your target market's problems and pain, and then start to talk about it and then drop the solution in at the end. Now, before we move on to steps number 9 and 10, I want you to think about what we've covered so far in this episode, right? And then I want you to ask yourself the question, have I got all this foundation work right in the first place? Because again, reiterating what I've already mentioned, when people come to me and say, Craig, I need more leads, I can teach you how to get more leads. But if number one, you're not going to become a content creator and you're not going to build in the 4 emotional triggers, I can't help you. I can't guarantee your leads because the foundations are wrong. Or number 2, your attract strategy, where you're just doing the same 3 or 4 or 5 things as everybody else, if you're not prepared to bolt on 20 different attract strategies that I'm going to teach you, then if the mindset is, oh, I'm not going to do videos, or I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to do that, then I'm not going to be able to help you. Number 3, have you got the 3 vital brands in place? Which was step number 4 with business brand, step number 5 with your personal brand, and step number 6 was your brand authority. So when I look at it and I say, look, I'm going to suggest that you take a good long hard look at your brand because it doesn't represent those 3 Ps. Are you prepared to rebrand? Are you prepared to get on photos and videos and introduce your team? Are you prepared to pull all this brand authority and work on these 3 Ps? And if the answer to that is no, I can't help you. Number 7, target market. Surely it makes logical sense for people to just invest time into understanding who your target market is, to avoid the scattergun approach. Because as we know, the scattergun approach is the quickest way to burn your own marketing budget and burn your own spend, but also the quickest way to attract time wasters and tire kickers. And if you're not prepared to work on understanding who that target market is, then I can't help you. Number 8, your target market's pain points. If we're not going to sit down and work out what they are, and you're just going to keep putting photos of white boxes on walls, as in boilers, and you're not prepared to start to market the pain, then I can't help you. Now, if they say to me, Craig, I get it all now, I understand this, my foundations are wrong, I didn't realise this, nobody's ever taught me this before, I've just done what everybody else has done, and I know that I need to implement these strategies and I'm willing to do it, right, now we're getting somewhere. Now I'm going to help you generate more leads, but we can't do that until you become a content creator. We build them emotional triggers in. We get that right attract strategy and you're doing 20 different things to bring people to your business. We've smartened up all 3 of those brands. We've identified the target market. We know what the pain points are. As and when we've done that, then we can move on to steps 9 and 10, which I'm going to share with you now. But until that point, if we don't get the basics right and the foundations right, then everything we build on top is going to come crumbling down. And what I said on Thursday, where it's like this. If I give you a plot of land to go and build your dream house on, you're not going to rock up on day 1 of that build and meet the ground workers and say, right, just start excavating and digging footings out for me. Because they're going to go, well, where's the plans? Where's the drawings? What am I building here? What am I creating? Who is it for? How big is it? How many rooms? What's the design? What's the style? I'm not going to go, don't worry about that. Just get digging, lads. Forget about having a strategy. Let's just wing it. Just start digging. You're not going to do that, are you? You're going to make sure that you've planned out the build of the house. And as part of that plan, you're going to bring in certain key trades at certain parts to make sure that when the house is finished, it's exactly what you need to get the end result. It's the same with marketing. You need to have the plan first. The foundations have got to go in right first. And this is foundation work, which I'm teaching you now. We've got to get that right first. And then what we do the equivalent of bringing the different trades in to build the house. We bring the different strategies in then at the right time to then get the end result. So the first 2 strategies that I introduced on Thursday, once we've gone away and got the foundations in, are steps 9 and 10. So let's move our attention over to step number 9. Which is your social media strategy. And the reason why we choose social media strategy as one of the main strategies that we're going to use moving forward is for a number of reasons. Number 1, it's free. Other than investing your time into it, all the organic posting that we can do to reach thousands of your target market is insane if we've got the right strategy. Number 2, we know that your target market are on social media every single day. So in terms of timing wise, we can put content out there every day of the week that we know is going to hit the target market, and it's all free, right? And number 3, social media is a really good place to drive traffic off. In other words, we're going to drive traffic off Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and other channels back to your ultimate sales tools, which are these three things. So just write these down quickly. Number one is a website. So we want to drive traffic off social media back to a website. Number two, it's landing pages. And number three, it's your funnels. Now, I'm going to give you another podcast episode here that I want you to go away and listen to, because you might be sat there going, Craig, I know what a website is, but I don't know what a landing page is, and I don't know what a funnel is. And if you're telling me I need all three, which you do, which one do I start with? So if you check out episode number 30, which is called Websites versus Landing Pages versus Funnels, which one generates the most amount of leads for you, go and check out episode 30 and I go through that entire strategy. So the first thing that we covered with social media strategy is your branding across your social media platforms. And again, this is why I'm saying that remember the 3 Ps when people looking at your content or on your social media platform, whether that be your personal Facebook even, never mind your business profile page on Facebook, but your personal one, they're going to be making a perception up of them 3 Ps based on the content you're putting on Facebook. Now, what I started off with saying is, once we've got the branding right and your personal branding right and this authority, then what we do is we update all of our social platforms, including our personal Facebook. Even though you might not want to use Facebook for personal stuff because you've got a business page on Facebook, I still encourage you to upload a cover image across everything that you do on social with an image of you that shows what you do for a business as the cover image at the top. Then we went through you're changing your profile picture to a picture of you, a headshot of you with your embroidered workwear on, and not having a picture of you on your wedding day or walking down the beach with your kids or taking your dog for a walk or out on your mate's stag do. All that lot's got to go because that's not going to generate your leads. And then I walked through the strategy of how social media platforms are becoming and being used more like websites. And I taught them on Thursday how to set the profiles up correctly with bio links and descriptions, because we've got to get our profiles working like a website. So once we've got the branding right, we've got the foundation right on your social platforms. And then I walked through this strategy. So make a note of this. It's a 4-step strategy that we use on social media. The first part of this strategy, write down the word pond. Pond. Now, I want you to imagine going fishing. You might have never been fishing before, but you're going to understand this strategy anyway. I need to teach you how to fish. And what we're going to call our social media platforms, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever you're using, they are what we call ponds. And what I want you to identify is just 2 ponds that you're going to fish in, which could be Facebook and LinkedIn. It could be Instagram and X, right? But these ponds have got to be where your target market are swimming in the highest concentration. So there's no point in you investing time into Facebook to win business. If all of your business is B2B and you want to be connected to facilities management companies, you need to be on LinkedIn. Do you get me? So what 2 ponds are you going to fish in? And the reason why I said 2 is if I were to say go and get on all the platforms just because everybody else is on them, you're going to dilute your time and you're going to get no platforms generating your leads. Whereas if we focus on 2 and get them working and generating your leads to start off with, we can then apply the same strategy to other platforms. So number 1, what ponds you're in. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is, let's say that your target market, for example, will class as a carp, right? And you want to catch carp, but you're fishing in the sea. You've gone sea fishing. That means you are never ever in a million years going to catch a carp in the middle of the ocean because you're fishing in the wrong pond. In other words, you've been fishing in LinkedIn when you should have been fishing on Instagram. Do you get me? So that's what we mean by a pond. You've got to be in the right pond to catch the right fish. Number 2 is the bait. If we're going to catch a fish in one of these ponds, let's use Facebook as an example, we need to make sure that we've got the right bait. You're not going to use mackerel to catch a carp because carp don't eat mackerel. You might use luncheon meat or sweet corn. So you've got to make sure that the bait that we're trying to catch these fish in is the right bait, and bait equals content. In other words, we've got to be putting the right content in the right ponds if we're going to catch some fish. And here lies the problem. Many of you are putting the wrong content out on the wrong platforms, and therefore you're not really catching a great deal. But when we get the right content, the right bait, and we throw the bait into the right pond, i.e. Facebook, then we're going to catch more fish. Number 3 is the hook. And what we mean by the hook is the engagement that you're going to have within that platform. And how we spark engagement off and how we respond back to any comments or any people asking us questions. There's a certain way in which we do this engagement, where again, most people are getting it wrong. Let me give you an example. If you are, and you've seen this happen yourself, let's say you're in a local Facebook community group and somebody says, can anybody recommend a tiler? I want my bathroom doing. Can anybody recommend a tiler? What happens in comments? Everybody then gets tagged in. 10 different tilers get tagged in. But what do most of these tilers then do? They use words and do things like this. Yes, mate. I mean, you never call a potential customer mate, buddy, pal. You just don't do that. But yes, mate, I can help with this. Give me a bell on this mobile number. Or click this link and have a look at our website. And you think that's enough communication? You think that's building up enough know, like, trust and confidence by just responding back to a post like that? No, there's a certain way in which we respond back to a post where we tagged in. And I go through the entire strategy in the masterclass. But if we're not engaging and building know, like, trust and confidence up within the comments, then we're not going to catch any fish. And step number 4 to this social media strategy is what we call reel them in. And I mean this with respect. But if you're going to catch a fish and you've hooked it and you've got the hook, we need to reel it in, don't we? To bring that customer closer towards us. So the reel them in is what we call the call to action. In other words, when we're engaging with someone or we know somebody's interested, what is the next logical step? What do we do next? And when do we do it? Because there's no point in just answering questions, because that's never going to get you a new customer. At some point, and at the right point, we then need to be saying, right, click this link and download our brochure. Click this link and download our ebook on the top 10 mistakes people make when having the bathroom tiled, right? Or watch this video I've done. Or listen to these video testimonials, because everything that I'm sharing with you now is building know, like, trust and confidence. So we need to be creating content that we know that we can use and send to potential customers to build know, like, trust and confidence, and not be saying, hey up pal, can you just give us a bell on this number? Because that's never going to work. So there's a strategy behind the pond, the bait, the hook, and the reel them in that I share on the masterclass. But I also go through the 2 different types of content that we need to be sharing, as in sales content and non-sales content, the frequency of how often we should post, the times of day we should be posting, and why it's important that we're using all of the features that, in this case, let's say Facebook give us, because this is going to help engage our algorithm. So using reels and stories and Facebook lives and posts and polls, all this lot we need to be using to engage our algorithm. And for many people, you're not getting enough engagement on your posts because you're posting the wrong content at the wrong time to a target market that's got absolutely no interest in buying what you're selling. Therefore, Facebook are going to look at your last 10 posts and go, well, this person is not creating the right content because nobody's engaging. They're getting hardly any likes, hardly any shares, hardly any engagement. Therefore, their content must be really poor, which means we don't want to be sharing poor content on Facebook because that looks bad on us. So what they're going to do is they're not going to show your post, future posts to hardly anyone because you've killed your own algorithm by the poor content you've been putting out there. And what I teach you is how to train the algorithm to start to get engagement, likes, shares and comments on your posts, which then sends a signal back to the platform that you're on saying our content has now improved and it's good. Therefore, Facebook, push my content out to more people. And that way then, we start to then get more traction on us posts. We get more people to know us. We get more people to like us. We get more people to trust us. And we get more people building up confidence that we can solve the problem that they've got. So then we start to generate more leads coming through from social media. Now, I'm also going to give you another podcast episode that I want you to listen to at the end of this one. And that is podcast number 40. Because in episode 40, I go through the 3 biggest social media mistakes that you will be doing. I guarantee you'll be making these mistakes. And it's not enhancing your 3 Ps. It's actually having a negative impact on your brand, yourself and your business. But more importantly, how to fix them. So that's episode number 40. Step number 10 is video marketing. I'm telling you now, the most powerful form of any type of marketing, anything on the planet that's going to generate you more know, like, trust and confidence and more leads is videos. And my first video was uploaded into YouTube on the 26th of October 2010. 2010. That's 15 years ago. This joiner from Sheffield stood on scaffolding, building a loft conversion, recording a video about the loft where I'm hitting my target market with pain points. I'm then sharing this content across YouTube. And back in 2010, we started to generate leads coming off YouTube back in 2010. And in today's day and age, I'm still absolutely gobsmacked that business owners that have got a phone in the pocket with a HD camera on and a mic that they could buy off Amazon for 30 quid. I'm still gobsmacked that in today's day and age, business owners are not using video marketing. I just do not get it. And short of sabotaging your own limiting beliefs that you don't want to be shooting videos because you don't like the sound of how you sound, you don't like the look, you don't come across as confident, you know, you don't want to make a fool of yourself, you don't want your mates taking the piss, you don't want to say the wrong thing. All these limiting beliefs that you've got, I also had 15 years ago. But I'm not putting them as obstacles and hurdles and barriers in front of my own success. Why would I put obstacles in front of my own success? So I'm prepared to do what other people aren't prepared to do. And that is I'm prepared to record videos. I'm prepared to do a podcast, for example, right? Because I know that I need to become a content creator to generate me more leads. So on the video marketing session, I went through the following. The 5 number 1 videos that you have to start to create as a trades business owner. And if you're not going through these 5 videos, right, and you haven't got these, you're going to struggle. In fact, listen, let me just tell you what they are, right? Grab a notepad, grab a pen, let me just tell you what they are. The first video that you're going to need is an introduction video. And this introduction video, you're going to put on your website, on your homepage of your website, right at the very top of your website above the fold line. So when people land on your website, the first thing they're going to do is click a video. And in that introduction video, you can get everything in. You can get people to know you, like you, trust you, and build confidence in you. You can call out your target market in that video. You can then give them the solution to the problems in that video. You can introduce your team into that video. That introduction video just ticks all the boxes. Number 2, you need testimonial videos from your happy customers and your happy clients, sharing how amazing your business is. You see, you're bound to tell everybody that you're the best at what you do, because everybody does. But you can't argue when people of independent third-party past customers are telling the world how amazing you are. That's the biggest sales team you can build. Testimonial videos. And I shared on the masterclass how we've got over 400. I've got over 400 video testimonials from some of the 30,000 tradesmen and women that I've coached, sharing how I've transformed the businesses and the lives. You just can't argue with that level of authority. So where's all your testimonial videos? Number 3, how-to videos. How-to videos where you're sharing how to do something that will solve a problem that your target market have got, right? So it could be something as simple as, listen, if you want to decorate and you want to take your radiator off of the wall, in this video, I'm going to share with you how to bleed down your radiator, take it off and remove it so you can paint paper strip behind back, decorate your wall and put your radiator back on, bleed it and get it rebalanced. A simple video of you doing that I'm sure for you plumbers do on a weekly basis. Where's all those videos? If I were a joiner now, still hanging doors, I'd be doing a video on this is how you hang a door correctly. This is how you get your 2.5 mil gap round it. This is how you position your hinges. This is how you chop your latching. This is how you hang a door. I'd be doing, listen, if you've got an internal scribe on a 6-inch Taurus skirting board, this is how you do an internal scribe. No, by the way, this is how you do an external mitre. If I were putting a hip and pitch roof on, I'd be doing a video on how I set up to do a hip and pitch roof, how I put the ridge board on, do the plumb cuts and the seat cups over the top of the sole plate. I'd be doing all these videos. Because if I'm sharing all these videos and I'm hammering social media and I've got it on my website, what is that doing? That's getting people to know what we do without actually selling the hang doors. That's actually getting people to like me. That's getting people to trust me because they can see that I've got the knowledge that's going to solve the problem they've got. And then 3 emotional triggers hit the 4th one, which is confidence. So you've got to get the how-to videos done. Number 4, pain point videos on you talking about the pain that your target market's experiencing. And now you understand what their pain is. But this is the solution to solve that pain. We've just covered pain points. You need to be doing pain point videos. And the 5th video that you all need is the before and after videos. Not necessarily too many during, because we don't want to see too much disruption. But, you know, I've just rocked up on this. Imagine doing a video like this, and I'm just going to shoot straight from hip here, right? So this is not scripted. I'm just trying to give you an example. Let's say I was still doing loft conversions for a business. I could do a video outside a customer's house. And here's how I'd start the video off. I'm outside this 3-bedroom semi-detached house in Door S17 in Sheffield, where what we're going to be doing is we're going to be transforming this empty loft space into another bedroom and ensuite, because our customer has got a growing family and they're running out of space. They don't want to remortgage and move to another house because they like where they are, they get on well with the neighbours, and the schools that the kids go to are fantastic. Now, what have I just done in saying that at the beginning of the video? I've called out my target market. I've told them the postcode areas that they need to be in. I've described the house. It's a 3-bed semi because a lot of our jobs were 3-bed semis. I've explained that they're running out of space, that it's going to be another bedroom and ensuite from a growing family. I've explained the reasons why they've stayed put and not moved, all within like 10 seconds. So if I did a before video like that and put that out, then maybe halfway through I do another video showing the progress, but no like a bomb site. We don't want any of that. And then I did a video at the end showing the job, and then me doing a video testimonial with a customer where I just get my phone out and say to the customer, also, Mrs. Jones, on a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with this job? Oh, 10 out of 10. And what makes you say that? Oh, you were clean, you were tidy, you were on time, you were on budget, Craig. It's amazing. And what would you do, Mrs. Jones? Or what would you say to anyone that's considering a loft conversion in S10, S11 and S17 in Sheffield? Oh, 100% you need to contact Craig and his team. Can you see what I'm doing? So if you haven't now got introduction videos, testimonial videos, how-to videos, pain point videos, and before and after videos, I had all these back in 2010. What's your excuse? But on the video marketing, we didn't just go through those 5 videos. I also shared with you on that the software that we use to edit our videos together, how to repurpose a video and cut it into smaller, bite-sized short form videos. We talked about YouTube, and we talked about something called the 3C formula that I teach, which is all about how to structure a video. In other words, what do you say at the beginning to compel people? What do you say in the middle when you deliver the content? And what should you say at the end when you're giving a call to action? There's a certain formula and a structure that I teach to make sure that your videos are scripted to perfection. So once we've got the foundations right, which are steps 1 to 8 in this episode, we're then going to start absolutely attacking and obliterating social media. And we're going to start with video marketing, because those videos we can add anywhere. We can put them on social media. We can put them on Reels. We can put them on stories. We can put them on our website. We can put them on YouTube. We can put them on YouTube Shorts. We can put them on TikTok. We can put them on Instagram. We can share those videos everywhere. They can go on websites, landing pages, funnels. Videos are the most powerful form of marketing, but so many people are still not using video marketing. So what I want you to do from this episode now is that I really want you to focus on them foundations, steps 1 to 8. And please don't bypass them. Because even if you're desperate for work now and the phone's not ringing, you just putting a few extra posts out on social media, or you winning a few extra jobs because you do a leaflet drop, all you're doing is papering over the cracks. You're just plugging the leaks. What we need to do is a business owner, remember, you need to become a content creator. Where we need to start is implementing steps 1 to 8, which takes a bit of time. And you might go, Craig, I ain't got time. Well, whose fault's that? That's not my fault. That's your fault as the business owner. You've got to take accountability and responsibility for where you're at, because you've not sought the right knowledge in the first place. You've been winging it. And that's okay. But what I'm here to say is stop winging it. Let's get these foundations in place first. So what I want you to do is between steps 1 and 8, You can't work on everything overnight. There's too many things to work on. So out of steps 1 to 8, which step are you going to start to work on today? And then once we've got the 8 steps in place, we can then start to turn his attention over to that social media strategy and the video marketing strategy that will then start to generate you more leads because you've got all your foundations right and you've got your ducks in order. That's where we need to be. Now, I said at the beginning of this episode, I'm going to let you have the information on how you can get access to that almost 6-hour marketing masterclass, as well as the accountability sessions that you can also get access to, as well as over another 100, you heard me right, another 100 videos and training on every area of business and every other area of marketing. So if you want the training and you want to do it in your own time, at your own pace, and you want weekly live coaching on Zoom via myself and my team, and on top of all that, you want a thriving community of professional tradesmen and women that are all on this journey with you already to help and support you and hold you accountable, then please consider joining our Growth Club, because you can get instant access straight away to this marketing masterclass that's sat there now waiting, and 100 other videos and a community that's there to help and support you. All you need to do to access this community is click the link in the show notes and the description that says Growth Club around this podcast, and come over to our Growth Club and community, and let's help you and let's get stuck in. You could literally, within the next hour, be communicating and talking to me live inside our community, and I can be pointing you in the right direction of how to generate more profitable leads coming into your business. And remember what I keep saying. When you're prepared to do things that other people are not prepared to do, then and only then will you get a better and different result. So I'll catch up with you on next week's episode, and I'll meet you at the top. Thank you.